On this edition, I'm just going to recap the main event at UFC 148. Just in regards to the UFC 148 card as a whole, on paper, it could have been a very good card. It did not live up to the hype that we were all expected to be. Obviously, card that possessed the biggest rematch in UFC history, and just the card itself did not live up to the hype that we all thought it did. However, I'm not going to complain. A night of fights is better than a night of no fights. But regards to it, if you want me to touch on, I think if there's anything else I did want to talk about in regards to this card was Griffin versus Ortiz. I think people thought that Tito Ortiz won that fight. I don't think so. Tito Ortiz did have his takedowns. He did try and do everything imaginable. I think he was trying to do everything possible to win, but his body was shutting down. The guy looked tired. Forrest Griffin's strikes added up, and I think it was definitely a lot closer. I don't think it was a unanimous decision. I think it could have been a split decision. I take 29-28 Forrest Griffin split decision. But that's just how I scored it. But I'm not particularly complaining about it. I think Forrest Griffin definitely won the fight. However, what I did want to talk about is Forrest Griffin's antics after he runs out of the octagon and he's leaving, and he had to be told to get back in the octagon by Dana White. We all heard about that, and gets back in the octagon, and you figure Joe Rogan would give Tito Ortiz his final words in the octagon. But what happens is that the mic's taken from Joe Rogan, and Forrest Griffin takes the mic and starts interviewing Tito Ortiz. And I guess what you could say is that what he was trying to do was trying to be respectful, trying to show his respects, but if anything, it was bad timing, and it just, the way it was viewed, it was kind of disrespectful. It almost like Forrest Griffin was stealing the spotlight from Tito Ortiz. It's the guy's last fight. He's a Hall of Famer. He got inducted in the Hall of Fame. He's definitely one of the guys that helped put the UFC on the map, just like you did, Forrest Griffin. But let the guy have his moment. You do your interview after. You won the fight. You were going to get one anyway. But, it was just everything that added up. You definitely won the fight, but you leave the octagon kind of disrespectful. Stay in and show some respect to the guy who just fought 3 rounds with you. And then you do the interview yourself. You could tell Tito was definitely a little ticked off about it. He's like, I've been doing this for 15 years. Tito handled it the right way. Personally, I wouldn't have handled it that way. I'd want to go out, paying my respects to Zuffa, to Dana White, to the Fertittas, to Joe Silva. And I would have preferred Joe Rogan to do it. But if you want to view it like that, Tito was definitely ticked off. I personally would have wanted to go out like that. He definitely stole the moment from him, definitely stole the spotlight, and it was Tito's moment. So, but that's all I really got to say in regards to that. Thank you, Tito Ortiz. You're definitely you're a Hall of Famer, no doubt. You're definitely one of the guys that helped put the UFC on the map. So thank you for that. So the main event, Sonnen versus Silva, given the hype and everything, biggest rematch in UFC history. People were talking about this in the fight. How Anderson Silva was rubbing the the Vaseline all over him from his face to his body. He did do it if you go back and watch the tapes. This is not me. I am a Sonnen fan, but this is me going back and watch it. This did happen. It is not allowed, but, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not, personally. And also people complaining about the short grabbing. Anderson Silva did do it. He did do it twice. He did against the cage. He also did it when they separated. But I'm not complaining about it. I don't think that short grab when they separate and he grabbed the shorts, I don't think that would have changed the outcome of this fight, to be quite honest. And that's coming from a Chael Sonnen fan. So anyway, they come out. Chael Sonnen has a textbook first round. In the first 5 seconds, he dumps Anderson Silva down to the ground with a double leg, gets him down the ground. It was a textbook round. He gets him down. He works his ground and pound. He didn't really posture up much. Anderson Silva did a very good job of keeping Chael Sonnen close. He also did a very good job of isolating one of his legs so he couldn't get to half guard and really posture up and get his work in or try and isolate an arm or do a submission. And I really, hats off to Anderson Silva. He did a really good job on the ground, but definitely it could have very well been a 10-8 round from Chael Sonnen. Absolutely, I don't want to say dominant round. Chael Sonnen did land some strikes, but it wasn't as many strikes as he did in the first round of the first fight. But Chael Sonnen definitely took the first round. They come out in the second round. Anderson Silva lands a couple strikes. Chael Sonnen is relentless for his takedown. He can't get it, though. Anderson Silva had good takedown defense. He was very good on the wall, on the cage. They said he did grab shorts, but I don't think that really had anything to do with it. They separate. He grabs the shorts again for a brief moment. Anderson Silva connects with a couple of strikes. Chael Sonnen goes for spinning elbow, spinning back fist, whatever you want to call it. He misses. He goes right down to the deck. He's on it, back against the cage. He's on the ground, sitting on his butt. Anderson Silva comes in with the knee, and I'll be dead honest, but I'll admit this. I'll admit when I've done some wrongdoing. I tweeted at the end of the fight that it was an illegal knee. Went back. I definitely spoke too soon for that. I apologize. However, it was a clean knee. Go back and watch it. It definitely hit the body. That is a legal knee. It's not to the head. It was a legal knee. And after that, Chael Sonnen got up, tried to work in, trying to get another takedown to separate. Anderson Silva landed another big right hand, sent Chael Sonnen down to the deck, and he wins the fight via TKO. I really think the big nail in the coffin in this fight was that knee. Whether it was the solar plex or wherever it was a big knee. That was really the momentum shifter in that. And also the momentum shifter was Chael's inability to get the fight down to the ground in the second round. And, Anderson Silva fought a good fight. He was patient off his back. He was able to, I don't want to say weather the storm, seeing Chael won the first round, but Anderson did a very good job of not letting Chael put forth that much damage in the first round. And Anderson Silva in the second round, he was accurate. He did, I don't want to say throw volume, not a lot of strikes, but he did catch Chael Sonnen off guard. He fought smart, and in the end, he ended up winning. He played by the rules in regards to the knee. He's lucky the knee didn't land to the head, but it just shows how accurate of a striker he is. So, personally, whether you want to say the Vaseline, the short grabbing, and this is coming from a Sonnen fan, I'm going to say that whether you want to say it's fair and square or not, Anderson Silva won that fight. So, I'm not complaining. I'm still a Chael Sonnen fan. People are going to maybe hop the bandwagon or not, but quite frankly, this is Anderson Silva's fight. He's still the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, one of the best mixed martial artists, if not the best mixed martial artist in the world. So for that, respect Anderson Silva. I'm not going to take anything away from him. The guy, given everything that happened in the first fight, comes on the second fight, and he wins by finishing Chael Sonnen off. So I'm not going to take that away from him. Congrats to Anderson Silva. What I think should happen next, I think the UFC, in regards to Chael Sonnen, I think they're going to ride out the whole Brazil thing as long as they can, whether it's fighting Vitor Belfort or Vanderlei Silva. Words have been exchanged back and forth between these guys. Whether they do that or not is the biggest question. Depends. I still think Chael Sonnen has plenty of fighting left. Whether he's a champion or not, but he's definitely still one of the top contenders in the middleweight division. Regardless of Anderson Silva, I think the only fight that needs to happen is him fighting John Jones. That's not going to happen, though. That's the super fight that needs to happen. No doubt about it. However, these two have befriended each other, and it is not going to happen. John Jones has no interest. Anderson Silva has no interest. This fight does need to happen. That is the super fight that needs to happen. So whether it's obviously GSP isn't going to happen anytime soon, but I'll do another video on the middleweight top contenders, who is the right to the next title fight, whether it's Lombard, whether it's Bisping, whether it's a long shot in Boch, whether it's Munoz or Weidman, who knows? I think there's a lot of things that there's a lot of chess pieces that need to be played out in order to find out who the next top contender is in the middleweight division. So, all in all, UFC 148 didn't live up to the hype that was set out for it. Was it an all right night of fights? Yeah, not going to complain. Fights are better than no fights. Hats off to Anderson Silva, still the middleweight champion, the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, and hats off to Chael Sonnen. The guy brought it. He did everything he could. Whether he said he quit or not, I'm not going to say the guy quit. You try and take a knee from Anderson Silva, and let's see if you're going to quit or how it affects you. Anyway, guy didn't quit. Brought it. He did whatever he could. So UFC 148, Anderson Silva still the champion, #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and that's what I have for this edition. It's Kyle Delaney signing off. I'm out of here.